It's 5:31 PM. I'll call the meeting of the Port Edward School Board to order. Roll call, please.
Kathy McGrath,
Here.
John Donovan,
Here.
Crystal Sieberts.
Here.
Carrie Hildebrand, I am here. Leo Thomascar.
Yes. Consider approval of agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All board members are in attendance. Our next board meeting in October will be in conjunction with the annual meeting on the 27th, correct?
Monday.
Monday.
Monday
Yep,
the
that's
27th.
Monday, the 27th. And those dates are published
Can they be
You know,
part of Shane?
later in the agenda. Administrative reports, elementary principal, Mr. Bina.
We did fail to include our student guest. Is it, would the board mind if our student guests
I don't know.
gave their report at this time?
Normally we don't have them in September, there's usually not a report, so I didn't even realize they weren't even on there, cause normally they're not ready to report quite yet in September.
Right.
Good for them, they
Yeah.
get extra
Right.
credit.
Yeah.
Extra special.
To accommodate you, we'll let you go right now if you'd like.
Well, I'll introduce them real quick. The reason we're here in September is because there was an opportunity for our students to go down to Madison, a fully paid trip for a week, hosted by the Mortgage Research Institute for a summer science camp. So they were off to Madison in July, spent a week there by a very highly regarded science research institute. They pioneered stem cell technology and are still continuing to do so. This is an opportunity specifically offered to rural students on a rotation, so we haven't been back there for 4 years. Sadly, there weren't many other schools or many other students at those schools that signed up. Normally we only get 5 spots. Nobody else brought more than 4. One school only brought 1 person. We were able to take 6 instead of just the 5.
Nice.
So it's an amazing opportunity. It's research that the rest of us teachers are just itching to get our hands into. We took 3 juniors, 3 seniors, and we have 2 seniors with us tonight, Joe Marco and Joanna Moreno. And I'll just let you go ahead and take it from there.
Well, going was a really good experience. We learned a lot. There's definitely a lot of opportunities that we got to learn about that we don't really know much about. We did some really good experiments that go in a little bit of each industry of the job. I did find out that was not something I want to do, but overall it was a good experience and seeing what was the opportunities that we have open to us. And
It was a great opportunity to kind of tour the Madison college area and see what their dorms were like and how big and small they were, how much you can bring or not. The distance we walked, I think, was the worst part. I should have brought tennis shoes instead of my Hey Dudes. That would have helped a lot. But it was a cool experience. I plan on being a mortician, so learning about we learned about snail anatomy, so I was really into the anatomy part. And that we got to be kind of hands-on with a lot of the experiments. We were doing some environment stuff that we were hands-on doing, and we got to heat up some springs with a Bunsen burner, and then we had to weigh them with a little weight to see if they would break and how much they would stretch, which was pretty cool. We got to watch one break, and we got to look at flower petals through a hand plastic paper microscope that worked actually surprisingly well. So it was a great opportunity.
So did you stay in the dorms?
Yes.
And what dorm were you in?
it was a new one.
It's a fancier, newer one called DeJoe. they're kind of trying to recruit the students, and so they put them up in the nice digs.
Sure. But they didn't show them the small rooms. That was
They already thought it was small.
I was hoping it was bigger since I went to Badger Girls and that was a small dorm.
Most
Badger
dorms
School
are.
in Madison, Ripon for boys, I think.
Is it still?
Ripon
Still-
is-
still
It
there?
always used
Is
to
it
be.
still
Used to be a
Ripon
Ripon for the boys.
Badger
Yeah.
State for girls up in Oshkosh.
Oh, it's
this
in
summer.
Oshkosh now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and their dorms were surprisingly small. Like, it was like maybe twice the size, smaller than the ones we stayed in Madison. So it was
I think the ones you
interesting
saw in
opportunity.
Oshkosh are more typical.
Yes, yes. Although they're changing, yeah.
Did they focus a lot, well, it sounds like you guys decided to focus on careers and
Oh, they
what you wanted to go
they
into?
went through a lot of, actually, do you wanna say anything more about it? I don't wanna steal anybody's thunder.
You're good.
Okay. They brought in a lot of research fellows and graduate students and so forth that took the research that they're doing right there in that facility. Zebra spinal cord regeneration, they actually splice out an entire chunk of the spinal cord. And zebrafish are able to, zebrafish are able to regenerate that back. And they're trying to figure out how to do, yeah, see, that's the face that I have too, right?
Heard of that.
That's the main focus in the facility now, but, and I got to see microscopes of these zebras that are kind of paralyzed, so you can focus in on that. But there's so many different projects going on, and one thing they really focus on is, especially the graduate students, the different paths that they took, the different bumps and U-turns in their career paths and education paths. And hey, we're still here and we've still, I never thought I would be in this field, and yet here I am and this lights me up. And so it was very nice to see those stories come through for, or I grew up in, Podunk so-and-so, or I grew up in across the world. There's a lot of different stories, and they focus heavily on that.
So here you have grad students who have finally reached what they feel is their goal, their destiny. So as high school juniors and seniors, don't think you gotta have this all figured out right away.
And it's very valuable to say, hey, these are some things that I find amazing and neat, but maybe that's not my path. That's still extremely valuable, so.
Well, it's nice to know that now, to find that.
Right.
Right?
Definitely, because you don't know,
How many people do we all know who thought they knew what they were going to do with their life and got into a track or a program and discovered that this wasn't their thing and spent a lot of time and money and energy and frustration and were suddenly somewhere else. So that sounds like a great opportunity for you guys. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Carrie, you said you took 6 students with?
Mhm.
What grades were they all in?
It was 3 juniors, 3 seniors.
Okay.
Well, current juniors and
Right.
seniors.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Awesome.
joining us
Glad you had the
today.
experience.
Great, yeah, whether
Thank
you're
you.
going into that
Thank
field or
you.
not, great experience.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you, girls. Good evening, I'll move on with the elementary principals report. Thank you very much. The 2025-26 school year, as I reported to our board members, got off to an excellent start on Tuesday, September 2nd for both students and their families. Our elementary faculty was out lining the front sidewalk and we greeted students, giving them high fives. Very exciting for many kids, a little scary for others that are brand new to the school. Some of them hid behind mom or dad's legs a little bit, but we welcomed everyone to school. The beginning of the year theme, if you saw our banner on the front of the school, is Wild About Learning, and students were welcomed back to school with jungle-themed decorations and activities. So the school year is off to a very fun start. Our school character trait for the month of September is kindness. We discuss kindness every morning during morning announcements and in our classroom morning meetings. So we can never discuss kindness enough. The Act 20 approved English and Language Arts program, MyView, which I've reported to our board about previously, we have implemented it now at each grade level, kindergarten through 4th grade. It's being piloted this fall and early winter, and we'll be deciding at mid-year if we want to continue with MyView in the spring or try a different program. Our next building-wide MyView professional development meeting is scheduled for later in October. The MyView reps and CISA representatives are going to do grade level check-ins later in September and early October as well. Early feedback on it, too early to tell, basically. I've talked to teachers at all grade levels. They just said it's a lot. We're learning it. It has a online component to it that is very detailed, so they are just kind of really learning the ins and outs of it right now. But so far, so good, and they are taking it one day at a time.
How does it vary from what they were doing?
I would say just in the setup, it's got a similar routine, similar pacing, but just in a little bit of a different setup. I don't know if I could answer that accurately enough right now. I haven't.
Well, that's fine. I was just.
We could certainly
I was
have
curious about why the change.
why we've changed. This is an Act 20 program. Act 20 approved.
So this is an approved Act 20 program, whereas the
Yes.
previous one was not.
Yes.
Oh, okay, well then
Yeah.
that's all I needed to know.
We had to skip this ahead in our curriculum cycle to have it implemented in time to stay in legal compliance. Yeah. Thank you, Wisconsin legislature, for that. School safety is on everyone's mind, of course, with all of our national and world events. We've scheduled school safety trainings here at the elementary for our staff on Monday, November 3rd and Monday, November 10th. I met with School Resource Officer Josiah Mertz last week and this week, and we've done some planning. Staff will be led in best practice discussions and question and answer with our village police on November 3rd, and we'll be doing an actual active scenario on Monday, November 10th. Village police will also be doing trainings this fall at the high school, and they will be meeting and doing trainings with students at grades kindergarten through 12 also later this fall. Those dates are to be determined. Finally, for my elementary report, I want to report that this past Friday night, People held its annual Fish Fry fundraiser at the El Cafe. Nearly $500 was raised for People during the 4 hours of contributions and meals. We want to publicly thank Fidel once again and their staff at El Cafe for putting up with people like me who are very amateur waiters and probably getting in their way more than anything. But again, nearly $500 was raised for People, and they were expecting maybe half of that. So thank you to our community. Thank you to El Cafe for donating that. We do have a thank you tonight as well. The thank you card that went around, I want to say thank you once again to the Bennett family and Bennett Cranberry Marsh for the work. They've been 2 full work days here, I believe August 20th and 21st, bringing in their heavy equipment, grooming our trails, cutting trees, cutting brush, hauling it all out, repainting signs, fixing the bridge, restaining benches. So thank you very much to the Bennett family for doing all of that work.
What's the current status of the outdoor area? Is it completely returned to usable status, or are there other things that have to be done?
The platform is not. The trails are good. The benches are out there. Some of the signs need to be redone. The platform, we have to do some work with the DNR to get it up to code, and there may be some significant costs related to that. So for the time being, we've blocked it off. We are just using the walking trail, and there are some learning areas that have been cut aside and the benches placed there. So the platform will be, maybe we'll look at it next summer.
Is that something that we could be doing a fundraiser for? Are we talking 20, 30, 40 grand? Are we talking 2, 3 grand? What are we approximately looking at?
You know, we're not quite sure. We haven't had We haven't done any investigation into it yet because of timing. I think when the time is right, we'll look into it and, we'll take those steps. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Bina regarding elementary? Middle school, high school principal, Mr. Stoutenfeld.
Good evening. We're off and running at the middle school, high school. I was talking with Mr. Bina earlier, before the meeting, just about the school year and how different it is for our staff and our students this year with the incoming fifth graders along with the sixth graders. So, our building is used to getting the 30, 35 kids, and now all of a sudden we got 60 some kids that joined, and they're all new. So it's an awakening for staff, also for students. Overall, the move has been good. We're starting to see those fifth graders, and you are who you hang around with too, right? And we've seen some instances on the playground, just simple examples of fifth graders screaming up and down the slide, and that's total normal behavior here. But we had 2 8th grade girls come to me and said, "Can you stop them from screaming?" And I said, "I could, but you also could go over as an 8th grader and say, at middle school, we don't do that stuff here." I watched them walk over, they had a conversation with the 2 girls that were screaming, and those girls stopped screaming. So, explaining how this is how we do things. So, the tour, it's a work in progress getting them acclimated over there. There's a lot more energy in the building. This morning I saw little fifth grader get out late at 5 after 8, and I was still standing by the door, and he wanted to run into the school because he knew he was late, but he stopped halfway and turned around and said, "Bye, Mom," and blew her a kiss. We don't see that normally in our so they do bring some energy. Our school's full. We're using every available space. We've been meeting lately, just trying to find spots for testing situations and counseling and all those things. So we've got a full building over there, and there's a lot of kids and a lot of energy in there, especially in our middle school wing. We're off to a great start with our high school. We are full blown into our homecoming planning. I know Mr. Bina sent you guys an email, but I provided you a paper copy. Everything's current on there except for the chili dump. That isn't happening, but everything else is current on your form. And it's been hard for the homecoming because we were given a game in late April or late August, but then we have 3 straight home games, and our homecoming kind of is run by our football schedule. Well, not having a home game in October isn't ideal because everybody's trying to get ready for school and get started for school. And then all of a sudden homecoming's here, and we've got class advisors meeting, after school lunches, Blackhawks, trying to get t-shirts for the classes ordered, trying to organize parades. It's a ton of work, and it's here. As you see, we start next Saturday with our Powder Buff volleyball game, where our freshmen, sophomores play, and then juniors, seniors, winners play each other, and then the staff play the winners of that, the seniors. So that's Saturday already. Sunday is the Powder Puff football game that we brought back last year. I know it took a couple years off. We had nothing but positive, comments from there. It was a great experience for our kids. Chili dump, however, what we had happen is we just had too many kids doing too many things and too many parents, and they're overloaded. So we took that off their plate this afternoon. But next week we have Monday through Friday, we have dress up days. On Thursday, the parade will go on, followed by the pep rally, and the bonfire will be Thursday next week. Friday is our home football game, and then the dance is Saturday from 8 to 12. Mr. Ayers did a great job this year scheduling. We can't schedule our football seasons. The commissioner does that, like our football games, but Mr. Ayers did an outstanding job getting our volleyball girls to be home that week. Last week, they were on the road 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and it hurts for planning, for float building things. So Mr. Ayers was able to get 2 volleyball games. We've got a cross-country meet for our cross-country kids. So all of our fall sports are playing, and last year we weren't able to have that. So that really helps build that community for homecoming. Another thing that we started last year, I reported on the Cool Team Leadership. COOL stands for Creating Our Own Leaders, and we started it today. They went to Econ Electric They went to Nakusa Wastewater Management. After that, they went to the community center. Goodfellas Pizza donated lunch for our kids, and the kids that are involved in that are Port, Pittsville, Assumption, Lincoln, and us. So it's Central Wisconsin schools, it's sophomores, so they had to apply for this last spring. The people at the Heart of Wisconsin, they went through applications, accepted the, ones that they wanted, felt were ready for this. So we had six taken, 4 girls and 2 boys. So they get to eat pizza together, and then they do team leading, building leadership, icebreakers, and they get these kids to know the local kids that are the same age, and really pushing them to step out of their comfort zone, be leaders. I peeked my head in at one, and they were each given a country and a language that they had to speak and introduce themselves in that dialect, and it was funny listening to them. So that started, and that takes place once a month. So we picked them up at 2:30 today, but that happens the 3rd Wednesday of every month. So we started that, and just a variety of things that are going on in our school. The building's full. Again, it's full of the sports programs, our clubs are meeting. Mrs. Rubishki just shared that they are doing their casting for the fall play. It's all here, and I don't think anybody realized that, wow, it's here, and it's mid-September, but it's here. So we're rolling, and yeah, we're in a good spot there, so thank you.
Questions for Mr. Stelzner?
Maybe the 8th graders need to start screaming going down the slide.
We're very blessed right now because we haven't, in 3 weeks, we haven't had an issue, not one behavior issue with our high school kids.
That's awesome.
And our 8th grade group is strong role models right now for those younger kids. So, I know there was a lot of hesitation with parents moving in those 5th graders and wanting separate bells, so they traveled at different times. And we see kids in the hallway, and these high school kids are interacting with these 5th graders, not in a negative way, but yeah, buddy, it's right down here. I'll walk you. My teacher will understand that I'm late. I'll take you down to Mr. Burno's room. Those are the interactions that we see here that make this place a one-of-a-kind district, right? You don't see that in a lot of schools. So we've seen some really nice interaction with those kids.
That's great.
We had some conversations today, some staff members and I, and Shane and I talked about it before the meeting too, and what a good fit it is having the 5th grade over there, just from a developmental level. It seems like 5th graders seem to work better with 6th graders than with 4th graders. And we're seeing the outcomes of that here in this building too. We're seeing fewer behavioral referrals. We're seeing 4th graders probably acting developmentally more like 4th graders, not trying to act like older kids when they're not those older kids and they don't know how to behave, and that's when you see the misbehaviors. So we're seeing, I think, just a better, calmer building, both places. I think we have kids where they're supposed to be. So, and this building is still full too. I think we were over full last year, but we're just right this year. So it was a good change, I think, all around.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I know that 3rd Friday isn't here yet, but ballpark, and what are you seeing for enrollment at K4 and 512?
I would say too early to determine.
Way
We've
too
had
early?
so many out and so many in.
Okay.
Too early to tell the net.
All right.
Yeah.
Always curious.
Probably a couple weeks before we really know the final number.
We'll finalize it. It doesn't get finalized till October, but we'll give you an estimate after that 3rd Friday.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. District Administrator report, Mr. Beal again.
Sure. I do have a note. My first note under this report deals with student enrollment, actually, Mr. Thomas Gard. We did have an increase of 10 students in the special education program since our first day of school. Jody Waltberg, she reported that to us yesterday in our admin meeting. So an additional 10 special education students since September 2nd.
Okay, so those were students that weren't here last year that
They've
are
moved
now
in.
here.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, they moved in. So with that in mind, we've had multiple special education staffing conversations ongoing, spring, early summer, midsummer, late summer, And Jody reported to us that we were kind of maxed out with our staffing going into the school year. We just added 10 new special ed students in the last 2 weeks. So with that in mind, this week we did post for a full-time special education teacher. So I wanted to just share that with our board, that posting is out there, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that we can find a capable teacher for that. The new hire, should we hire someone, will be assigned to the middle and high school. 9 of the 10 new students who have moved into our district in the special ed program, 9 of the 10 are in grades 6 through 12. The other child is a first grade student, beginning tomorrow.
That student's just starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
And, you know, when we don't know ahead of time, that,
You have to be nimble,
yeah,
be
ready to make
Yeah.
changes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We have to be responsive, absolutely. So that's again, that's the only staffing change that I have to report, so that's a good thing.
That's very significant.
That is very significant to have that
Wow.
many in that program move in
Yeah.
2 week span, absolutely. So, and again, I was there taking some of those phone calls about enrollment. Either I was or Jody was. Shane has talked to some of those families. They've moved in, you know, for a number of circumstances from a number of locations. So they have moved into our school district.
No, see,
Yeah.
these are not school choice kids, these are kids who are
No.
We're
residents
capped at
of the
zero.
district.
We can't allow any in for school choice. We're
Right,
capped
I-
at 0.
right.
They've all moved into the district.
So there's
There's lots of, the houses are selling, there's lots of new people in town.
Rentals, people moving in, yeah.
So-
Yeah, so a lot of in and out, yeah, a lot of in and out, yeah.
Okay.
Other things to report on, the annual WASB Fall Regional Meeting, you may have gotten emails and flyers about that. It will be held as a reminder in Rothschild on Tuesday, November 4th at the Holiday Inn. Programming on November 4th starts as early as 4 o'clock. Dinner will be at 6:30 and the meeting will follow at 7 o'clock. I have it on my calendar to attend that evening. I'd like to congratulate Leo and Kathy. They will be recognized at that meeting for their contributions as school board members. So Leo will be there. Kathy, are you in attendance?
Well, I don't know, it's election day, I don't know if we have, and I usually work the polls, but I'll have to find out, maybe we don't have
We
anything,
don't have a fall election,
maybe not. Okay,
we're in off cycle,
okay,
unless there's a special election called by somebody that I don't know about.
okay. Yeah, I can probably go then,
Yeah, but just send me an email if you want.
Okay.
And then I'll register you.
okay.
For your benefit, these are held every fall. It's a really good networking event. It's a nice program if you can get off work early to go to the one before it, but even if you can't, the dinner and the presentation following is well worth your time. I would strongly encourage other board members to go if it can possibly fit the schedule.
Yeah, I would echo that, Leo. It's a great networking opportunity. You sit at large banquet tables with people from Wausau, Pittsville, Nakusa, Stevens Point, and you just get to corroborate stories and discuss and network.
Recall that one of the things that came out of the summer program that I attended in July was the suggestion that by WASB regions, we're in Region 5, that they form collaborative units with board presidents or board members and do things, you know, regionally rather than just dealing with the horde that goes to Milwaukee in January. The summer program was much smaller, much more intimate, and a lot more time to talk. Same people, same leadership, same staff that are there in the Milwaukee convention every year, but you know, just a very much more opportune setting for learning, interacting, figuring things out. So I would encourage other board members to attend the November 4th event if they possibly can.
It's an excellent event, it really is, absolutely. I'd like to report last Friday night, I think some of our board members were lucky to attend the event. We had our annual Tackle Cancer football game. That's held every year when Almond Bancroft takes on Port Edwards. Fundraising was done in advance of the game, and a check for just over $2,000 was presented to Mrs. Lori Curtin. And Lori is a staff member at Almond Bancroft who is currently battling cancer. So we had a very nice presentation at halftime. The halftime whistle blew, both teams lined up on the 40-yard lines. They took a knee, and the coaches from the two teams came out and greeted Mrs. Curtin on the 50-yard line and presented her a check, and we read a segment about her battle against cancer. So very nice event for our community and for Almond Bancroft as well.
Great.
Some information about the Southwood County YMCA childcare. Our enrollment numbers, they continue to remain relatively low here at the start of the school year. In the mornings, when I walk through there a couple of times, we typically have anywhere between 0 and 2 full-time students. So oftentimes we have 2 in there, but there have been a couple of days when the lights have been off. We have an additional 4 children join them after 11 o'clock for half days. So those are the children that are done with the 4K in the morning, and then they go down for the second half of the day in the child care. So 4 part-time and 2 full-time right now. So that's our current enrollment there. And then finally this Friday, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The response from that mailing we did was nil?
As of right now,
Wow. Okay,
as of right now.
sorry, go ahead.
That's fine. Yeah, that's where it stands. All my conversation, Tracy Verwink, she had a table here at Back to School Night. We've done all the things, the social media, the mailings. We've had tables out. Yeah, we've reached out every way we think we can. Tracy Verwink has told me that she has talked to many families around the waiting list that this is a viable option, and it's, not being utilized.
Did you say it might go away if it's not utilized for next year?
That's up for discussion here. Yeah,
Because that's nice for those poor families that they don't have to worry about picking up those.
it's very nice. It's very
Very
nice.
convenient.
It is. Yeah. I think we've kind of got a good routine down here now. Everyone's kind of used to it. It's just a matter of, can we get more students enrolled, more children? Yeah. So we'll continue to put word out about it, for sure.
That's all we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, I wanted to mention this Friday, Marissa Rabishki and I will be guests on the WFHR Midday Report. I'll be sharing information about the start of our 2025-26 school year, and Marissa will be sharing PEEF updates. That's 11:30 this Friday on WFHR. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. I'm gathering nobody wants to address the board,
No.
so we'll move on to the consent agenda, the approval of the minutes for the August 13th meeting.
So
So-
moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's carried. Financials, any gifts, Lisa?
Just the one gift that Mr. Bina mentioned in his report, so
Mhm.
that's what the thank you is for today.
All right. Any board members with concerns or questions about the consent agenda? Hearing none, then I guess we need a roll call for this.
Leo,
Aye.
Motion first.
Oh,
I move,
The motion is roll
Sorry.
call.
I move to accept the consent agenda.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Leo,
Aye.
Carrie, aye. Crystal,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Kathy.
Aye.
Motion's carried. There's no unfinished business. Moving on to new business. Consider approval of co-curriculars under Hewitt for middle school football.
He's a former student, right?
Right,
Packet?
right.
Former
Yeah.
student.
Is that as assistant or a head coach? I thought we
I
did
believe
something.
he's assistant, is his dad the head
He's the
coach?
head coach and his dad is volunteering as an
Right.
assistant.
Okay, I thought, because I thought
One
we,
coach.
yeah, I thought we had something was last month mentioned.
A co-curricular list.
About it, yeah.
Yeah, or someplace, I can't remember. So I just couldn't remember if we had.
So just one coach,
Right, and then when Ron, his father's, I guess,
volunteer?
has lots of, football experience, so that's helping Hunter.
Yeah, he's helping him out.
And how
Well, I
many,
wasn't questioning it, I was just curious.
yeah, how
Yeah,
many,
So.
I'd have to look back on the
students?
agenda, I don't remember, to be honest. The
There
August
was, there
agenda.
was something, whether it was in, maybe it was on a, it was someplace.
Shane might have just talked about the sports starting or coming up and maybe talked about
Yeah, and we
how it
had,
was working.
we had very low numbers initially. A week and a half, 2 weeks before school started, we had numbers, we were talking like 5 or 6, that's it. After school started, they kind of recruited some kids in and the kids love playing for Hunter and his dad and they have, I think we're up to 14, 15 kids.
That's great.
So we're able to
Field a team,
field a team, and that was up in the air for a long time.
good deal.
And that is 8-man as well, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
And
Assume?
there's talk right now of the middle schools, some of the middle schools are moving to flag football because of
Yeah.
concussions and injuries, so
It's not a bad idea.
it's something on the
becoming more
radar that I
popular.
think is.
And flag football for girls is a thing.
I think it's a varsity sport in Iowa.
Our granddaughter went to Lambeau Field for a week,
Yeah.
she wants to play.
That was great. I like the rugby.
It's perfect. It is.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, they got a certain amount of colleges is, it's, at least for girls.
It's a great sport.
And Max reached out to the conference ADs and just asked if there was some interest in flag football, and he got 1 or 2 schools that were interested, but not enough to,
Right.
just not enough. So,
Conversation has to start somewhere.
That's right.
In the counter conversation to that, just from our world when we were previous athletic directors, I think a counter conversation, and I'm always in favor of a lot of opportunities, is coaches will say that may take some of your good athletes away from your other sports when we're fighting for numbers in our small schools already.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We'll see, all about opportunity.
Well, I would move to approve Hunter Hewitt.
Second.
Give a second for Mr. Hewitt's contract. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Some significant numbers of new Neolia policies.
Yes,
They all make sense.
absolutely.
True.
Yes, these are, it's the second set, it's number 2 of updates for the school year. These are all, vetted by Neola attorneys. They are being recommended for approval so that we stay in legal compliance. And I guess, are there any questions? Otherwise, it'll just be the first reading.
Sure.
No motion. Okay. Okay. Opportunity for comment tonight. Gary?
Good to see the students back here talking about good things that they're doing and, well, it's not as much, there's a lot of activity going on, that's good to see. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. But it's good to have the students back here giving us some reports, so it's good for them to experience some of those things. My opinion, Madison was too big, so I didn't go there. I like the little bit smaller schools.
I toured Madison, that was my problem with it too. It seemed so big.
I mean, it's cool and everything, but it's like, no, I think I'll go up north instead. But that's all I have.
Not much, excited for homecoming week. Lots of stuff going on the weekend, and come watch the sports because it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
John?
Echo Carrie, it's good to see the students back and that's about it. Good to see the school year started.
Kathy?
I'm impressed, I think, with so many of our new staff members, and it was just great to see them Leo and I were here on the first in-service day and, you know, they all look excited to be here and I want them to know that we're excited to have them because a lot of schools are still having problems filling their
They are,
positions and we don't have that problem, which is a good thing.
except for special ed.
Right.
To be determined.
Well, we were full, or.
Oh, we were in
We were
shape.
situated, we
Yeah.
were that,
We were.
Yeah, and
now we're not.
things come up and you have to go with the flow.
Be flexible, that's right.
I found something that popped up online that I wanna share tonight. We've had a very difficult last week. This supposedly, and of course you don't know what the origins of things are, but it's a really interesting example and an interesting classroom technique. My daughter came home from school and said, "Mom, you're not gonna believe what happened in my history class today." They were in a high school history class in colonial American history. Teacher told the class they're gonna play a game. He walked around the room and whispered to each kid whether they were a witch or just a regular person. Then he gave them instructions. Form the biggest group you can find without a witch. If your group has even one, you all fail. She said the whole room instantly lit up with suspicion. Everybody started interrogating each other. Are you a witch? How do we know that you're not lying? Some kids clung to one big group, but most broke up into smaller exclusive cliques. They turned away anybody who seemed uncertain, nervous, or gave off even the slightest hint of being guilty. The energy shifted fast. Suddenly everybody was suspicious. Whispers, finger pointing, side eyes, trust dissolved in minutes. Finally, when all the groups were formed, the teacher said, "All right, time to find out who fails. Witches, raise your hands." Not one hand went up. The whole class exploded. "Wait, you messed up the game." Then the teacher dropped the bomb. "Did I? Were there actually any witches in Salem? Or did everybody just believe what they were told?" My daughter said the room went dead quiet. That's when it hit them. No witch was ever needed for the damage to happen. Fear had already done its work. Suspicion alone divided the entire class, turning community into chaos. Isn't that exactly what we're seeing now? Different words, same playbook. Instead of witch, it's liberal, conservative, vaxxed, unvaxxed, pro this, anti that. The labels shift, but the tactics the same. Get people scared, get them suspicious, get them divided, then sit back while trust crumbles. The danger was never the witch. The danger is the rumor, the suspicion, the fear, the planted lies. Refuse to whisper, don't play the game, because the second we start hunting witches, we're already lost. Lost in the chaos of the shooting in Utah was yet another school shooting in Evergreen, Colorado, which is a northwest suburb of Denver where my daughter and her family live. It's got a little close to home because Kari called us that night and said that the shooter in Evergreen played basketball with my grandsons. This has to stop. This practice of yelling at each other and finger pointing and carrying on like this has got to stop. The division and the violence has to stop. Nobody should get shot at because of what they're saying. No kids should have to deal with this. Unapologetic racism, division, and hate has no place in this country. And as the people in charge of the schoolhouse, we have to do our very, very best to see that we do everything we possibly can to make sure that doesn't happen here. That's what keeps me up at night. All we can hope is that cooler heads prevail and that somehow or another we manage to get through this. But right now, it isn't looking real good. We all have to do better, more often, in more ways. So. That being said, we have established dates for our October meeting, the 27th. Executive session at 5, business at 5:30, budget and annual meeting following. Questions? And we'll call for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned.
Good read, by the way. Good read.